Judiciary Committee. Senator Grassley, it is wonderful to see you, sir. Happy New Year to you. And I just thought you'd react to this high noon dramatic cat's whisker vote victory for Speaker Mike Johnson. What do you think, sir?
Well, it's key to getting the mandate of the November 5th election, which elected President Trump once again, to get it on the road. Because if we had to lose one day or 1 week, who knows how long it could have taken to come up with somebody else. And I'm just glad it's over, and it's good news for all the people that voted for Trump, even if they don't know who Speaker Johnson is.
Yeah, you know, actually, if they hadn't gotten it through, you could have been president by January 20th, as President Pro Tem of the Senate, as I understand it. If there's no speaker, there'd be no certification Monday, maybe not even January 20th inaugural. As I understand it, you would have stood in line to become president.
Well, President Pro Tem job is a very important job in the United States Senate, but I'm just glad that that scenario didn't happen, because what it would be is it'd blow everything that was accomplished by re-electing President Trump. It just blow it all away. We can't afford to lose one day, let alone a month of getting this agenda underway. And we're ready in the United States Senate as the first Republican majority in the 4th year to move the Trump agenda along, because we know that elections are supposed to have consequences, and one of the consequences is to deliver on what the voters thought about. And that means closing the border, means that continuing the tax policies of the last 8 years, and a whole bunch of other stuff. America first is the best way to put it.
Yes, sir. And you're going to take over as chairman of the very important Judiciary Committee. And I just want to switch gears a little bit, Senator Grassley. I mean, the FBI, again, I don't know if the word botched is the right word, but we couldn't get a straight answer. This horrible, nightmarish, evil terrorist act in New Orleans, for example. First, the FBI said it wasn't a terrorist act, then they said it was. First, the FBI said that there were accomplices, then they said no, they weren't. And there's so much that has gone wrong with the FBI in the last 4 years, or in fact, really going further than that, with all the nonsense of Trump's Russian hoax and so forth. What do you make of that? We got Kash Patel as the nominee. What do you make of all that, too? Can Kash Patel come in there and clean house?
Well, I think that he is a person that can do it. I've met with him. I always wait till after the hearing is over to say who I'm going to support, but I look very favorable on him at this particular time, and I expect him to be through, and I expect him to make some big changes on the 8th floor of the Hoover Building here in Washington, D.C., and have law enforcement become the FBI become a law enforcement agency and not the political weapon that it's been to arrest and bring charges against Trump, as an example, to use it as a political tool to defeat who was supposed to defeat who's now going to be the next president of the United States.
And, Senator, I assume that you will get along famously with my good friend Pam Bondi, who was nominated to be Attorney General, another important job and another place that needs some house cleaning, I would think, sir.
Yes, I've met with her as well, and I'm enthused with her work as Attorney General of Florida and what she's done as a prosecutor. I think we're going to find the Justice Department prosecuting and not being used as a political weapon against political enemies. There's one thing that can speed up her nomination, and that is if the transition team that we're working with of the new Trump administration would get the background investigations and the other paper, particularly the ethics reports that we ought to have. We don't have any of that paper yet. I want to get it so I can schedule the meeting for July, the hearing for July or June the, what am I saying? January the 14th.
Well, I'm sure they're listening to that, and I'm sure they'll get it forthwith. want to thank you. As I said, Happy New Year. I know it's an inside joke, but I'm so glad we got this interview done, and you didn't yell at me once. You didn't yell at me once, which is just the most wonderful thing.
Well, we're not in the Oval Office, and that makes a difference.
Senator Chuck Grassley, thank you, sir.